Howdy folks, Mitchell Kuhn here with another daily inspirational video. And today I'm going to talk to you about how it is essential that we be flexible, yet we have boundaries. And what I mean is that if you don't have boundaries, you do not have the truth. The truth creates the two sides of the narrow way. Life is always found in balance. And the way that you find the narrow way is you fall into both ditches. And these are the two extremes people tend to go to. Either you are overly rigid, you're harsh, you're judgmental, you're not flexible at all. You don't meet people where they are, you don't have any empathy, you just lay undue burdens on people, just like the Pharisees did in Christ's time, and you make things so much harder on others than they need to be. You're speaking without love, and as Paul says in 1 Corinthians 13, you're just a clanging gong or a resounding cymbal. Now, the other side of the road is that you have no principles at all. You're so flexible, you just go along with anything. And this is what's happening in the world that we live in today. We're having parents who are letting kids choose their gender. And the Lord has caused this as an extreme example of how we are not learning from the things that have been created for us to teach us. The scriptures tell us in Romans 1:20 that the invisible things of God are made known by the things that are made. Male, female, nature, animals, agriculture, all of these things teach you these innate principles that discipline is good, that diligence is good. Having a strong moral foundation with boundaries and what is righteous and what is evil is a good thing. And when you start having a society that calls evil good and good evil, that society falls apart. And this is called the Tytler cycle. And you can see it in history, how the Roman Empire, what happened in Russia. When you start to see a degradation of the foundational morals that created the success, and the people depart from those principles, everything's a total and complete disaster. This is the story of Israel in the Old Testament, was they obey God in the beginning, they keep the principles, they're prosperous, and then what do? They disobey the principles, they abandon them, and the Lord sends judgment. So in your life, this is the narrow way. Be all things to all men. Be flexible, be forgiving, be compassionate, don't judge quickly. Christ spent time with tax collectors and sinners, and he was so merciful. But then he had strong, godly principles. He was the harshest on the Pharisees, who were the self-righteous, judgmental ones. He was very clear about what was righteous and did not compromise that. But he was patient and loving and merciful in the way that he administered that teaching and that justice and that righteousness. So everything, there is a narrow way. You find the narrow way by falling into the two ditches. So I encourage you to study the scriptures. Visit my website, tryingthespirits.com. Start listening to these studies, and you'll start to learn how to be flexible in life, all things to all men, yet also have boundaries set up by the Word of God. And that is how you will bear good fruit and be a city on a hill. And that city cannot be hid. That good light cannot be hid. So until next time, keep the faith.